Hey everyone, welcome back to the Corbino for the second video of the day. We are going to be going over the Book of Boba Fett, Episode 1, everything you missed, and possibly even a review, so stay tuned. The Book of Boba Fett is probably one of the best Star Wars shows out there right now because there's not that many. There's only The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, but you're not going to be missing much in this if you have seen The Mandalorian Season 2 because we are seeing how he caught up after the events of The Mandalorian. But we also get a few prequel shots of how he escaped the Sarlacc pit and more in this episode. The episode starts out and showing him in a Bacta tank which is healing himself. And after that, we get a scene of how he escapes the Sarlacc pit, which is pretty awesome if you saw that in Return of the Jedi. The first Easter egg we see is a stormtrooper was caught up with him in the Sarlacc pit, but was dead. And we do see in Empire Strikes Back that a few of these stormtroopers, or even a few of the soldiers, were caught up in this Sarlacc pit as well. But he does burn his way through, which is pretty awesome, as he does have the iconic flamethrower on him. The second little Easter egg we get to see, or seen, as I should say, is that he gets caught up with the Tusken Raiders and the Jawas. And the Jawas steal his armor, and that we can see in The Mandalorian Season 2, where Cobb Vanth gets the Boba Fett armor where the Jawas picked him up in that episode. For the third little Easter egg here, we have the Tusken Raiders making a return, and the Tusken Raiders are a pretty big part in this episode. That the Tusken Raiders had tied him to one of those cow-looking things. I forgot what it was. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. They had tied him to bring him back to the village and tie him to a stick or some kind. And this is obviously foreshadowing how he was stuck on Tatooine for a very long time in Mandalorian Season 2. Later on in the episode, we get to see how he spared a little Tusken Raider's life, and that will pay off in the end, as there is this Mortal Kombat looking new creature that we have never seen before in Star Wars history that attacks the Tusken Raider and kills the other prisoner that was with him. And Boba Fett chokes out this monster with the chains that bonded him, and he does build a lot of trust with the Tusken Raiders, which will pay off in further in the series or even the season. After that, we get a few post-Mandalorian Season 2 scenes with him intending to rule with respect instead of Jabba the Hutt trying to rule with fear, is what he said in his own words. And as we saw in the Mandalorian Season 2 post-credit scene, he killed the other guy with, I think it was like a yellow guy. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But we see this yellow guy that he killed in the Mandalorian Season 2 to become king. And we see that this is paying off a lot due to him receiving a lot of gifts in the beginning. And he is giving a lot of gifts with these species across Tatooine. And one of the species is a Trandoshan. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but we get to see the same species as Bosk, the bounty hunter from Empire Strikes Back. And this is one of my favorite characters in the bounty hunter series, because I play Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I just love using that incognito attack with the mortar. Another thing we get to see in this episode is how he gets to fight these bandit-looking things with Fennec Shand, which is his servant or his right-hand person. Boba Fett is pretty bad tail in this episode, as he shows that he is nothing to be messing around with, and he teaches this guy a pretty good lesson. The Book of Boba Fett is a pretty good show so far, so I would stick around watching it on Disney Plus every single week on Wednesday. And, well, we'll just have to see what happens next, and I'll see you next time. See ya.